Greetings, everyone. This is Professor Jeff Wilkerson at Luther College, bringing you what to look for in the night sky, our weekly series, this time for January 10th, 2022. So we're going to continue talking about some things we've been talking about. We're going to follow stories that we've been following for a long time now and see where we are, and then we're going to end with a little bit of something new for the week ahead. Again, this is for the week of January 10th, 2022. And to begin, let's talk about the evening sky. When you go outside just after sunset and look to the southwest, Jupiter and Saturn are still pretty bright in the evening sky. Last week we talked about the moon sliding past there, and I hope you had a chance to see the moon in that vicinity. I did not. It was a little bit cloudy where I was. But in the vicinity of Jupiter and Saturn. So those are getting closer and closer to the sun. So now's the time to keep going out and watching those. We think about this as the night sky being a familiar friend that we see night after night, and it's the same, yet always different. The same but different, the same but different. And so we're watching these sorts of changes, and these changes are really evident to us right now. It wasn't that long ago, a month ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, that we were seeing 3 beautiful bright planets in the evening sky: Jupiter, Saturn, Venus. Venus is gone. In fact, Venus is now on the other side of the sun and in the morning sky, but I don't think you can see it in the week ahead. But it's changing so rapidly, it's moving so rapidly, that in another week, you probably will be able to see it in the glow of the morning sun. And in 2 weeks, it'll be easy to see in the morning sky. So Venus is gone from the evening sky. Jupiter and Saturn are headed that direction. Jupiter's enough higher than Saturn. It's going to take Jupiter a while to get there, but Saturn by the end of the month is going to be really difficult to see. So go out now over the next week or two and enjoy what you can see of Jupiter and Saturn, and enjoy the changing view as they get eaten up in the glow of the sun. And then later on this spring, we're going to watch them pop back out in the morning sky. We're already going to see Venus there. So right now, last week, I suggested to you, go out and see Mars in the morning sky. See if you can see Scorpius with bright orange Antares and Mars popping into the morning sky. And you can. I have had the chance. I've had some clear skies in the morning, and I've had the chance to go out and see on a couple of different mornings Mars and Antares with the head of Scorpius above them there in the morning sky. I tweeted a picture out just from my cell phone last week. Go look at that picture of the beautiful, beautiful stars of Scorpius and Mars rising into the morning sky. Should be relatively easy for you to pick out of the morning glow now, and Venus will join them in the week ahead, or a week from now to 2 weeks from now. You'll be able to see Venus, big bright Venus, pop out in the morning sky after having watched it in the evening sky this past fall. The changes, you just see the changes that are happening in the sky. So that's what we got. We want to keep tracking Jupiter and Saturn in the evening sky. Watch for Venus to start to pop out in the morning sky. Probably not this week. Next week, check out Mars as it gets higher in the morning sky, and enjoy Scorpius there. Scorpius, there can't be a greater marker of the summer sky than Scorpius. We think, those of us at northern latitudes, think of Scorpius as a beautiful marker to traditional summer constellation. There it is in the cold, cold mornings of January for us in the morning sky. So enjoy that view. So watch that, and then we're going to turn our attention to Taurus, which is up now as it gets dark. It's up all night, easy to see above the head of Orion. Aldebaran is the bright orange star here. Often you hear that translated as Eye of the Bull, from the Arabic. But Alan, we always refer to Alan's star names when we do this work, and I recommend that book highly. Alan, we call this the follower of the Pleiades star cluster up here. So this is the Hyades star cluster. Is this V of stars that includes a lot of third and fourth magnitude stars that you see, but they're not super bright. And Aldebaran is super bright. So you got super bright Aldebaran right there with the V of the Hyades, and the Pleiades off up this direction that you could see without any optical aid. A pair of binoculars makes it just that much better. So if you have a pair of binoculars, a small telescope is almost too much. It tends to magnify this field too much, and you lose some of the stars. But see what you can see of the Pleiades. Enjoy the view of the Pleiades. Now this next week, the moon's going to slide through there. The moon will be just below the Pleiades on the 12th, and that'll be Wednesday. And on the evening of Thursday the 13th, the moon will be over here above Aldebaran. So this is going to be, we watched the moon move past Jupiter and Saturn last week. Let's watch the moon move past the Pleiades and Aldebaran in the week ahead and enjoy that view. The moon's filling out. So the moon's more than 3/4 full and very bright. There aren't many deep sky objects that will hold up to that bright a moon that you'll be able to actually see, but the Pleiades is one of them. So the Pleiades will make a very pleasant, sorry about that alliterative pun there, will make a very good view with the moon on the 12th and Aldebaran on the 13th, this whole region of the sky Wednesday and Thursday. Great to watch. The moon's going to keep sliding off this direction. So we've got a couple of stars so you can continue the long horns, the long V of Taurus out this direction, and you come to a couple of stars out this way. Al-Nath is the star up this way, which from the Arabic would translate as the budding one, I believe Alan would say. And this is out on this tip of the horn that you see out that direction. If you keep moving on out that way, the Crab Nebula is right there. I'm not going to suggest to try to look at it this week. Too much moon. We'll come back to the Crab Nebula if you have a small telescope. But it's right there. Orion's down here. And if you keep moving out this direction, there's a string. There's an arc of the open star clusters. And they're bright, beautiful open star clusters, and I recommend checking them out. They're not actually in the constellation Taurus. This is our constellation of Taurus right here above Orion. M35 is the southernmost, just past this string of stars out this direction. If you have a pair of binoculars or a small telescope, you shouldn't have any trouble making out M35. Binoculars if you've got good dark skies, binoculars ought to make that pop out. That's in Gemini. These other three are in Auriga, M37, M36, and M38 up this direction. And so you can find all of these, if you take this distance between these stars and the tips of the horns, and turn it out this direction. You don't have to go quite that far out to get to this line of stars. You've got one that's just off this string, one that's just off this string, and then a couple more that follow the arc up that direction. See if you can find this. Take your binoculars outside. See if you can find those open star clusters. You've got a small telescope. Once you've located them in the binoculars, then see if you can track them down in your telescope and see the glittering individual stars. We have pictures of most of these on our website to go look at. You can find pictures of them out there on the web, I'm sure, all over the place. Beautiful open star clusters that grace the plane of our Milky Way galaxy. So that's what we got this week. Continue to enjoy the planets and how they're moving around the sun, how they're interacting with the sun right now, and you're watching them disappear in the evening and appear in the morning. Mars has already done it. Enjoy Mars in the morning sky. Venus not quite there yet. It's already around on the other side of the sun from the evening sky. You can't see it in the glow yet, I don't think. Maybe by the very end of the week. But a week or so from now, or 10 days from now, you should be able to see that. No problem popping into the morning sky. I'll let you know when I see it. Watch Jupiter and Saturn disappearing into the glow of the evening sun, trying to do the same as we move through the year ahead. Get into the morning sky that way. Then turn your attention to Taurus. Watch the moon slide through there. Enjoy the Pleiades, the Hyades, this V of stars that includes Aldebaran, and then a whole string of open star clusters. These are open star clusters too. A whole string of open star clusters from Gemini up through Auriga. Have a good week, everybody. I hope you have good observing, and we'll have something for you next week.